Hi everyone, welcome to week 4. Miles wanted to say hello. Not really, I'm kind of forcing him. He can't wait to get away from me. There he is. So I hope this provides some academic relief. All right, so week 4, we are going to be talking about your logic models. And let me jump to that part of the course. Budgeting is going to be an important topic this week. So now that you have gotten a sense of an organization's structure, their functions, what they do, who they serve, and at times the challenges that they may be facing, their unmet needs, the kinds of funding mechanisms that are available to organizations that are providing human services, we are now going to start talking about budgeting and program evaluation. So, in examining those kinds of areas of an organization, it includes determining the costs of service delivery, what the value is of certain in-kind contributions that the organization is getting, and then describing the budget of the organization. And then in the program evaluation piece, it's really writing the plan for how certain aspects of the program are being evaluated so you can tell if you're actually making a difference with the population that you're serving. Okay. So this week's readings include Chapter 13 in the Brody book on how to manage agency finances, the Kaufman reading on measuring the impact of university civic engagement and model components and their methods. And then the McNamara reading on the basic guide to program evaluation. All right, so let's jump to So you have one discussion question this week, and you're essentially going to be introducing your part 2 of your program and funding proposal for the organization that you're working on. The pieces of the proposal, there are pieces of the proposal that'll be due each week. And then starting this week, you'll have an opportunity to provide feedback to your peers about the pieces of their proposal. I have a video from earlier on in the semester on how important it is to take that feedback piece very seriously. The feedback that you provide your peers is crucial for their learning, but also your own, and how to provide peer support, critical feedback, getting people to think about their work and what they're proposing from a different perspective, which is yours, given your background and your work experiences. So please take time in giving people feedback, even if their proposal seems to be perfect or that they've included everything based on the rubric. That's really where your critical thinking skills come in, where you want to still give them another perspective to think about. Identify the holes in their proposal or what they're missing, something that they could add, or a different way of considering what they've written to strengthen their proposal and make it more competitive. So I've provided you a template in your week 4 section, and you're going to be using the template to finish up your budget. So you're going to be, there's a budget template, your budget narrative, so explaining why you're asking for these specific sources of funding, and then your evaluation plan. You're going to upload your completed template to your discussion forum, and that is your initial post. So there's nothing else that you need to do, although that in itself is quite a bit. And then your response posts, so you will have your assigned dyads and triads, and you're going to give constructive feedback on each person, for each person in your group. Most of you are going to have 2 people in your group. So in providing your critique, assume the role of a funder. Would you fund this proposal the way that it's been written? Consider the different sections. Are they adequate enough to receive a grant? What are the areas that they might need to add to strengthen their proposal? So you want to be thinking from that way. There's a couple of rubrics that we've attached for you to think through the kinds of questions that you might want to pose back to your peer when you're reviewing their proposal. This part of the class moving forward for the rest of the weeks, you will have this feedback loop with your peers. It's so important that you're submitting things on time so that you can also receive feedback and that your peers have something to look at throughout the week. So again, if something is coming up or if something's in your way and you're not going to be able to turn in any piece of your proposal on time, please do get in touch with me and also communicate with your peers so that they are aware of what's happening. So that is, program proposal part 2 is what you will upload to your discussion forum. Your final part 1 of your proposal that you worked on last week is also due this Sunday of this week. So you will have gotten some feedback, and please, incorporate that, and then you'll be turning that in. This is your statement of need, the organizational context, empirical evidence that you provided, your logic model, goals, and objectives. Most of the time, what I find that needs to be revamped and great and kind of redone in some cases is the goals and objectives. Again, I've said this in previous videos, but make sure that they are measurable and that you've included a time component. So if your goal is to increase the number of people that you're serving in a given year, that just can't be your goal in itself. You need to say what population you're serving. So maybe it's homeless adult individuals, and you're trying to serve an additional 20 people per month or 50 people per year. So you really want to be very specific about those goals so that you are able to measure them. If you have a goal that you are trying to meet that's not measurable in that way, so for example, maybe you're trying to do some construction projects at your site, then you want to include a milestone that by the end of 2017, X, Y, and Z has been renovated, or X, Y, and Z has been done, and so you set that milestone. And that in itself is measurable to see if you've met that goal. Also make sure that you always proofread your work. It's really important that you have work that's free of grammatical errors and that there's a flow to your writing and that it makes sense. That the citations are cited appropriately in APA format, that you have headings and subheadings in your paper, and that your name is on your paper, and so forth. So please always go through the rubric one more time before you submit and make sure all those components are there. Right. And bear with me 1 second. So if you have questions about any of the readings, why evaluations are important, any questions about managing the agency's finances, please get in touch with me and we can talk through some of those questions. But I imagine that reading that work is going to be really influential in developing your goals and objectives, your evaluation plans, and really talking through in your second part of your budget proposal why the evaluation is important. In areas where you want to reference the readings, just please make sure that you cite. And again, just from I think that the readings will be really valuable to you this week in preparing that part 2. That's all I have for now. Please be in touch if you have questions, and I look forward to seeing the next pieces of your proposals.